What if I told you that some of the coolest, most stylish homes in the world aren't built with bricks or wood, but with old shipping containers? Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, these homes are mind-blowing. From luxury retreats to eco-friendly mansions, these designs prove that you don't need a traditional house to live in style. Would you ever live in a shipping container home? Do you think they're genius or just too out there? Stick around because today, we're diving into 7 incredible homes made from shipping containers. The Kennedy by Backcountry Containers. Ever wondered what it would be like to live inside a shipping container? Well, the Kennedy by Backcountry Containers proves that small spaces can still feel luxurious. Imagine stepping into a 40-foot-long steel box, only to find a stunning, fully functional home waiting for you. Sounds crazy, right? But this Texas-based container home is anything but ordinary. For starters, it comes with a spacious bathroom. Yes, a full-sized one, not the cramped cubicles you might expect in tiny homes. The bedroom fits a queen-size bed, so no, you're not sacrificing comfort. And the kitchen? Oh, it's got butcher block countertops, soft close cabinets, and enough space to cook a real meal, not just instant noodles. The living area is open and airy, making the compact home feel much larger than it actually is. And get this, despite being made from a shipping container, the interior feels nothing like one. It's cozy, modern, and stylish with high-quality finishes that would make you forget you're living inside something that once carried cargo across the ocean. Starting at around $75,000, the Kennedy is proof that container homes can be both affordable and high-end at the same time. Whether you're looking for a tiny home, vacation rental, or backyard guest house, this sleek, steel-turned cozy home is a game-changer. Who knew shipping containers could feel this fancy? Alt 40 Luxe Container Home by Alternative Living Spaces. Now, if you're the type who likes a bit of glamour in your tiny home, let me introduce you to the ALT 40-foot Luxe Container Home. Think of it as the penthouse of shipping container homes, designed for people who want something sleek, stylish, and totally Instagram-worthy. This 320-square-foot beauty is anything but basic. The exterior keeps that raw, industrial, I-used-to-be-a-shipping container vibe, but step inside, and boom, you're in a modern, luxury mini-home. We're talking a full bathroom, a fully equipped kitchen, and a spacious living area that doesn't feel like you're inside a steel box. The designers have nailed the open concept layout, making the space feel surprisingly roomy. The bathroom? It's bigger than some New York apartments, with a modern shower that doesn't feel like an afterthought. The kitchen, top-tier appliances, stylish countertops, and enough storage to make a chef happy. But here's the real kicker, this home isn't just for living, it's also a perfect Airbnb rental. Picture this, a trendy, minimalistic retreat in the middle of nature, where guests can unwind in a stylish, sustainable home. Prices start between $82,000 and $108,000, depending on how fancy you want it. So, if you've been dreaming of a tiny home that doesn't feel tiny, this one might just be your perfect match. Would you live in a luxury shipping container home? Let me know what you think. Containers of Hope project in Costa Rica. What if I told you that you could build a beautiful, eco-friendly home for just $40,000? Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly what architect Benjamin Garcia Sachs did with his stunning Containers of Hope project in Costa Rica. This isn't your average tiny home. It's a 1,000-square-foot masterpiece made from 2 repurposed shipping containers, proving that sustainable living can also be stylish. The design is pure genius. Instead of just slapping 2 containers together, Sachs lifted the roof right in the middle, creating a natural skylight that floods the space with sunlight by day and moonlight by night. Talk about a dreamy atmosphere. Now let's talk about air circulation. Since Costa Rica can get pretty hot, this home uses large, strategically placed windows to let the breeze flow naturally, eliminating the need for air conditioning. That's right, this home stays cool, comfortable, and energy efficient without guzzling electricity. And the best part? The couple who owns this home used their savings, instead of taking out a massive mortgage, to build it. So, instead of drowning in debt, they're living in a home that's fully paid off and beautifully designed. Could this be the future of affordable housing? Imagine if more people ditched expensive mortgages and opted for creative, low-cost homes like this. Would you trade a traditional house for a shipping container paradise like this one? Let's talk. Redondo Beach House by Peter de Maria. Okay, now let's turn up the heat. What if I told you that one of the coolest modern homes in California was built from 8 shipping containers? Meet the Redondo Beach House, a stunning two-story home designed by architect Peter de Maria. And let me tell you, it's a total showstopper. Now this isn't just some experimental home tucked away in the woods. Nope. This beauty stands right in the heart of Redondo Beach, California, blending industrial style with sleek modern architecture. The best part? It was actually one of the first shipping container homes to get a United States building permit, meaning it paved the way for other container homes to go mainstream. Inside, the design is a perfect mix of raw and refined. Imagine high ceilings, open spaces, massive glass windows, and steel beams that give it a bold industrial aesthetic. But here's the twist. It's super cozy too. The container walls were insulated so well that the home stays cool in summer and warm in winter, proving that shipping containers aren't just for cargo anymore. But why use shipping containers at all? Well, apart from looking insanely cool, they make the home stronger, more durable, and more eco-friendly. Plus, because it's made from upcycled containers, it reduces waste and promotes sustainability, all while delivering a high-end luxury living experience. So what do you think? Would you live in a modern industrial-style container home right by the beach? Or is this too out of the box for your taste? Let me know! PV14 house. Alright, picture this. You're standing on your rooftop terrace sipping coffee while overlooking White Rock Lake in Dallas, Texas. Sounds like a luxury penthouse, right? Well, guess what? This isn't your typical mansion. This beauty, known as PV14 house, is made from 14 shipping containers. Yeah, you heard that right. 14. This isn't some tiny house experiment, it's a massive 3,700 square foot dream home that takes container living to a whole new level. It's got 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, multiple living areas, and insane floor-to-ceiling windows that make you feel like you're floating above the city. The exterior still keeps that raw, industrial look, but step inside, and it's like stepping into a high-end designer home. Polished wood floors, modern furniture, sleek steel beams, it's all about blending rugged with refined. And because the home is elevated, in case of floods, you get unbeatable panoramic views that stretch for miles. But here's the real kicker. The entire home is solar-powered, which means it's not just stylish, it's eco-friendly and energy-efficient too. A house this size that's sustainable and jaw-droppingly beautiful? Now that's a flex. So, let me ask you, if you had the chance, would you swap a traditional mansion for a container-built architectural masterpiece like this? Or does the thought of living in a repurposed steel box still sound too wild for you? Let's talk. Manifesto house. Okay, now let's head to Chile, where sustainability meets style in the most creative way possible. Introducing Manifesto House, a stunning solar-powered shipping container home that looks like it came straight out of a futuristic design magazine. Here's what makes it so unique. Instead of just stacking a few containers together and calling it a day, the architects at James and Mao Arquitectura decided to wrap the entire house in recycled wooden pallets. Sounds weird? Well, there's a genius reason behind it. These pallets actually serve as a natural climate control system. When it's hot, they block direct sunlight, keeping the interior cool. And when it's cold, they allow warmth to enter, making heating more efficient. This simple trick reduces energy use, making Manifesto House one of the most eco-friendly container homes in the world. Inside, the design is just as impressive. With floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist interiors, and an open floor plan, the house feels way bigger than it actually is. And let's not forget about the huge glass doors that let in tons of natural light, because who wouldn't want their home to feel bright and airy? Now here's the real question, could this be the future of sustainable housing? What if every new home was built using repurposed materials like this? Would you live in a house made from shipping containers and recycled wood, or is this still too outside the box for you? Let me know what you think. The Helm by Cargo Home. Alright, picture this. You're staying in a 2-story tiny home, sipping coffee on a rooftop deck surrounded by nature, with a cool breeze flowing through massive glass doors. Sounds like a luxury escape, right? Well, guess what? This cozy little paradise called the Helm is made entirely from shipping containers. Built by Cargo Home and located in Waco, Texas, the Helm is a dream vacation rental that proves you don't need a massive house to live in style. The exterior keeps that rugged industrial container look, but once you step inside, oh, it's a completely different world. Shiplap walls, warm wood accents, soft lighting, and modern furnishings make this tiny home feel inviting and luxurious. And let's talk about space, because even though it's compact, it never feels cramped. The smart layout includes a stylish living area, a well-equipped kitchen, and a cozy bedroom that makes you forget you're inside a steel box. The best part? The huge glass doors let in tons of natural light, making the whole space feel open and airy. But here's the real showstopper, the rooftop deck. Imagine stargazing with a glass of wine or enjoying a sunset view from the top of your container home. This feature alone makes the Helm stand out from other tiny homes. So here's the question, could you live in a luxury shipping container home like this? Or do you prefer your homes a little bigger? Let me know in the comments. And there you have it, 7 incredible homes made from shipping containers. Who knew repurposed steel boxes could turn into such stylish, functional, and eco-friendly spaces? Would you ever consider living in one of these? Or do you still prefer a traditional home? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe to DwellScape, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on amazing architecture and real estate content. See you in the next one. Alright, let's play a little game. What's the most insane bridge you've ever seen? A tiny rope bridge swaying over a canyon? A highway hanging in midair? Or maybe a bridge so high it touches the clouds? Well, get ready, because today we're diving into 7 mind-blowing bridges built over some of the most impossible terrains on Earth. How did engineers pull these off? And would you dare to cross them? Stick around, because some of these bridges might just leave you breathless. Millau Viaduct, France. Alright, picture this. You're driving through France and suddenly, you're above the clouds. No, you didn't take a wrong turn onto a runway. You're on the Millau Viaduct, the tallest bridge in the world. At a staggering 343 meters high, this bridge isn't just a road, it's an engineering masterpiece that defies gravity. Designed by Sir Norman Foster, the Millau Viaduct stretches 2.46 kilometers across the Tarn Valley. Before it was built, this area was notorious for traffic jams, with tourists clogging up the roads every summer. The solution? Build a bridge that soars above the valley itself. It's held up by 7 massive pylons, each taller than the Eiffel Tower's 2nd floor. Yeah, this bridge makes even some skyscrapers look tiny. But here's the real mind-bender. The construction process was almost as insane as the bridge itself. Engineers built it sideways and then slid it into place using hydraulic jacks. Think of it like assembling Lego pieces in mid-air. The result? A structure so elegant and strong that it barely vibrates, even in 130 kilometers per hour winds. And let's talk about the view. If you're lucky, you'll drive through a layer of fog where only the bridge and sky exist, making it feel like you're cruising through heaven. It's no wonder people actually take detours just to drive across it. Would you dare to drive across this floating road in the sky? Langkawi Sky Bridge, Malaysia. Now let's swap cars for pure adrenaline. Imagine standing on a bridge that curves through the sky, with nothing but a steel railing between you and a 700-meter drop. Welcome to the Langkawi Sky Bridge, one of the most breathtaking and slightly terrifying pedestrian bridges on the planet. This bridge isn't your ordinary straight path. It's a swooping, curved structure designed to give visitors the illusion of floating over the rainforest. Suspended by a single towering pylon, this 125-meter-long bridge dangles above Gunung Mat Chinkang, the 2nd highest peak in Langkawi. And here's the kicker, you can only reach it by cable car. Yep, before you even step onto the bridge, you have to survive a steep, sky-high ride just to get there. The bridge was designed to be as non-intrusive as possible, blending into nature rather than dominating it. Instead of cutting through the mountains, engineers suspended it over the landscape, making it a perfect example of eco-friendly architecture. But let's be real. The biggest attraction here is the thrill. Walking across it, you can actually feel it sway in the wind, and when you look down it's nothing but treetops, rocks, and sheer cliffs beneath you. If you're afraid of heights, this bridge might just cure you, or make it worse. But one thing's for sure. You'll never forget the experience. Would you step onto this gravity-defying masterpiece? Eshima Ohashi Bridge, Japan. Alright, buckle up because this bridge is about to test your nerves. Welcome to the Eshima Ohashi Bridge, or as some call it, the roller coaster bridge. Seriously, at first glance you'd think it was designed by a theme park engineer, not a civil one. This 1.7-kilometer-long monster stretches over Lake Nakami, connecting the cities of Matsue and Sakai Minato. But here's where things get crazy. The incline is so steep that from a distance it looks nearly vertical. Now imagine driving up that. You press the gas, the road starts rising, and suddenly it feels like you're climbing a skyscraper. Your heart's pounding, your hands grip the wheel tighter, and you pray your brakes are working when you come back down. The bridge was built with a 6.1% incline on one side and a 5.1% on the other, which doesn't sound bad until you're the one behind the wheel. So why was it built this way? Simple, to let ships pass underneath. Instead of using a drawbridge, engineers decided to go full send and design a structure tall enough for large boats to fit below. The result? A bridge that looks straight out of a Fast and Furious stunt scene. But don't let its terrifying look fool you. It's actually completely safe. Vehicles drive up and down it every day without issue, though first-timers definitely experience a mini heart attack. And if you're on foot, well, too bad. You can only admire its dizzying height from afar. So, would you be brave enough to floor the gas and take the ride? Or are you taking the long way around? Royal Gorge Bridge, USA. Alright, here's one for the thrill seekers. Because the Royal Gorge Bridge isn't just a bridge, it's a vertigo-inducing nightmare hanging over a deep canyon. Sitting 291 meters above the Arkansas River, this suspension bridge in Colorado was once the highest bridge in the world. And guess what? It still holds the record as America's highest suspension bridge. Picture this. You're walking across the 384-meter-long wooden deck, and the wind starts howling through the gorge. You feel the bridge sway slightly beneath your feet, and when you look down, bam! It's a straight drop into the canyon. No guardrails high enough to block the view. Just you, a few planks of wood, and a massive chasm waiting below. And here's a fun fact. This bridge was built in 1929 in just 7 months, without the modern safety equipment we have today. No drones, no fancy machines, just some daring workers securing wooden planks hundreds of meters above the ground. Imagine being one of those guys casually hammering nails with nothing but air beneath your boots. But don't worry, today, the bridge is reinforced and part of the Royal Gorge Bridge and Park, where visitors can walk across, ride an aerial gondola, or even take a zip line straight over the canyon. Oh, and if that's not thrilling enough, there's also the Sky Coaster, a giant swing that hurls you over the edge at 80 kilometers per hour. Yep, this place was made for adrenaline junkies. So, do you think you'd dare to walk across? Or would your legs give out before you even reach the middle? The Devil's Bridge, Germany. Alright, forget modern engineering for a second because this bridge isn't about steel and concrete. It's about magic, mystery, and a little bit of devilish charm. Welcome to Rakottsbrücke, also known as the Devil's Bridge, a place so eerie and mesmerizing it looks like it belongs in a fantasy movie. Tucked away in Kromlauer Park, Germany, this 19th century bridge isn't just a path across the water, it's a perfect circle thanks to its breathtaking reflection in the lake below. That's right, stand at the right angle and the bridge and its reflection form a flawless ring, almost too perfect. Which is why legend says it wasn't built by humans alone. According to the myth, the architect made a deal with the devil himself to complete this seemingly impossible design. But of course the devil doesn't work for free, he demanded the soul of the first person to cross it. The builder, being clever, tricked the devil by sending a random animal across instead. Furious at being outwitted, the devil vanished, but his eerie presence is said to linger around the bridge even today. And here's the kicker. You can't walk on it anymore. To preserve its delicate structure, authorities banned crossings. But honestly, just standing near it, watching the mist roll over the water, is enough to send chills down your spine. In autumn, when the trees explode in fiery reds and oranges, it looks like something straight out of a dark fairy tale. So, what do you think? Would you stand near the Devil's Bridge at dusk, or would you be too afraid of what might be watching from the shadows? Baluarte Bridge, Mexico. Alright, now we're talking about a bridge so high it practically touches the clouds. Meet Baluarte Bridge, a record-breaking engineering marvel that stands at a jaw-dropping 403 meters above the Baluarte River. That's taller than the Empire State Building, and it's one of the highest cable-stayed bridges in the entire world. Located deep in the Sierra Madre Occidental Mountains, this bridge was built to connect Sinaloa and Durango, two Mexican states separated by some of the most brutal terrain imaginable. Before it was built, travelers had to endure a dangerous winding road that snaked through steep cliffs and deadly drop-offs. But in 2012, engineers decided to take on the impossible, constructing a 1,124-meter-long bridge that slices through the mountains like a blade. But let's talk about the real thrill, driving across it. Imagine this. You're cruising along the highway and suddenly, the ground beneath you disappears. All you see is the sky stretching out ahead, with the canyon gaping 400 meters below. The wind howls, the bridge subtly vibrates, and you can't help but wonder, what if I just stopped the car right here? And here's the wild part. When it was inaugurated, it was officially recognized by Guinness World Records as the highest cable-stayed bridge on the planet. But don't let its height scare you. This bridge is a lifeline for trade and travel, drastically cutting down journey times and bringing isolated regions closer together. So would you drive across this sky-high marvel? Or would you take one look at the canyon below and turn the car around? Langwieser Viaduct, Switzerland. Alright, imagine this. You're on a train cutting through the Swiss Alps, the crisp mountain air swirling around you. Everything is peaceful. Until suddenly the ground beneath the tracks vanishes. Your heart skips a beat as you realize you're crossing the Langwieser Viaduct, a century-old bridge that defies both gravity and logic. Built in 1914, this 284-meter-long railway bridge stretches across the Plesher River Valley, towering 62 meters above the rocky abyss. But here's the insane part. It was constructed using only reinforced concrete, a technology that was still in its infancy at the time. In fact, this was one of the first large-scale concrete railway bridges in the world, and skeptics doubted it would even hold up against the brutal alpine weather. Well, guess what? Over 100 years later, it's still standing strong. Not only that, but it continues to serve the Rhaetian Railway, carrying passengers through some of the most breathtaking landscapes in Switzerland. And let's be real, if you're on board, the view is nothing short of magical. The snow-covered peaks, the dense forests, the deep valley below, it's like traveling through a postcard brought to life. But here's where it gets even more heart-racing. When winter arrives, this bridge is often blanketed in snow and ice, making it feel like something out of a survival movie. And yet, trains continue to glide across it, proving just how flawless its design truly is. So, would you sit back and enjoy the once-in-a-lifetime views? Or would you grip your seat, praying the train doesn't make a sudden stop over the abyss? And there you have it. 7 mind-blowing bridges that defy gravity, logic, and fear. Which one amazed you the most? And more importantly, would you dare to cross them? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey through engineering marvels, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to DwellScape for more incredible architecture and design wonders. Hit that bell icon so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep exploring the world, one masterpiece at a time. Have you ever wandered through an abandoned building and felt the echoes of its past? The walls, the floors, even the air, everything tells a story. Now imagine entering a forgotten theater where time seems to have stood still. What secrets do these decaying cinemas hold? What stories do their empty seats whisper? In today's video, we explore 8 abandoned theaters and cinemas of unforgettable beauty. Stay tuned. Could you imagine yourself in one of these eerie yet fascinating spaces? Let's delve into their stories. Loew's King's Theater, Brooklyn, New York. Have you ever entered a place so magnificent that you feel like you've entered a forgotten dream? That's exactly what Brooklyn's Loew's King's Theater offers. Opened in 1929, this opulent cinema is designed to make you feel like you're watching a film in an old European opera house. Picture it. Golden chandeliers, intricate crown molding, velvet curtains, and a breathtaking ceiling designed to replicate a night sky. Imagine the film reels rolling and the audience gasping at every twist and turn. But in the 1970s, Loew's King's Theater disappeared from public view. Its doors closed and the theater fell into disrepair. Now, after decades of neglect, it stands as a haunting shadow of its former glory. Yet, there's something fascinating about its ruins. Photographer Matt Lambros has spent countless hours documenting its beauty. It captures the eerie stillness of the once vibrant space, drawing attention to the ornate columns, curved staircases, and faded gold accents that are still visible. It's a place where time seems to stand still. The quiet echo of the past can be felt in every corner, and while it may no longer show films, it still tells a powerful story. Strolling through the space, you're almost transported back to a time when the theater was a beacon of entertainment, a place that transported people from their everyday lives to a world of glamour and glitz. Easttown Theater, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit's Easttown Theater is a stunning example of beauty becoming a ruin. Opened in 1931, it was one of the city's greatest movie theaters. With its colorful Art Deco facade and striking neon signs, the Easttown Theater once invited moviegoers to an experience like no other. This was a place where the city's working class gathered to escape their daily grind, enveloped in the splendor of a well-designed, spacious theater. But over the years, the Easttown slowly fell into disrepair, struggling to stay relevant in the changing times. By the late 1990s, the theater was abandoned, its seats gathering dust, its awning flickering in oblivion. Yet in this eerie silence, the haunting beauty of the Easttown Theater shines brightly. In the hands of photographer Julia Salas, the theater is transformed into a haunting time capsule, offering a glimpse into its faded glory. The seats, once filled with eager moviegoers, are now empty. The stained glass windows cast colorful patterns on walls that have peeled and cracked from neglect. Walking through the theater, you can almost hear the distant echoes of laughter and applause, a reminder of the lively atmosphere that once filled the air. The Easttown Theater is a relic, a piece of history frozen in time, where echoes of the past now dance in the silence. Empress Theatre, Montreal, Canada. Imagine entering a space where the mysteries of ancient Egypt seem to come alive. That's what Montreal's Empress Theatre promised when it opened in 1927. This magnificent cinema was one of the rare Neo-Egyptian theaters, with its tall columns, intricate hieroglyphs, and the distant hum of mystery in the air. It was as if the theater transported you to a place far beyond the typical movie-going experience. The tall statues, the massive arches, everything exuded grandeur and exoticism, but over the years the crowds dwindled and the Empress Theatre fell into disrepair. After 65 years of operation, it closed its doors in 1992, and what was once a palace of cinematic dreams became an empty shell of its former self. Today, the theater stands abandoned, its golden facades slowly succumbing to the ravages of time. The building's once stunning entrance is now hidden behind a chain-link fence. Its mysterious Egyptian motifs are still faintly visible, obscured by decades of neglect. It's almost as if the theater is holding its breath, waiting for someone to come along and rediscover the magic it once held. And yet, the specter of its past grandeur lurks in the ruins, an almost tragic reminder of the transience of fame and fortune. Despite proposals for demolition, the future of the Empress Theatre remains uncertain. It's a place where history, culture, and mystery collide, making it an unforgettable stop for those who dare to venture into its decaying halls. Scala Cinema, Bangkok, Thailand. Bangkok's Scala Cinema was once a beacon of Art Deco brilliance, and its bold and elegant design welcomed cinephiles to a world of wonder. Opened in 1969, the cinema wasn't just a place to watch films, it was an experience. With its towering neon sign, majestic facade, and lavish interior, the Scala was an integral part of the city's film scene. It was one of the last remaining single-screen cinemas in the bustling city, offering a nostalgic atmosphere for those seeking to escape the chaos of modern life. But like many other cinemas, time marches on, and so did the Scala. Over the years, multiplexes replaced the old single-screen format, and the Scala fell into disuse. In July 2020, it closed its doors for the final time. Now, uncertainty surrounds this magnificent building, with rumors circulating about its possible demolition or redevelopment. Yet despite the absence of the bustling crowds, there is an undeniable magic in its quiet, deserted state. The ornate arches, faded colors, and once magnificent cinema lobby whisper stories of a bygone era. The air seems to echo with the sounds of excited moviegoers, the hushed murmur of conversation mingling with the sound of spinning film reels. The Scala may be empty now, but its spirit lives on in every corner of the building, like a forgotten legend waiting to be rediscovered. It's an unforgettably beautiful place, filled with nostalgia for a time when cinemas like this were the heart of entertainment. Will it be lost to time or rise again as a relic of Bangkok's cinematic past? Only time will tell. Orpheum Theatre, Wichita, Kansas. Enter the world of the Orpheum Theatre in Wichita, Kansas, and you'll be transported back to a time when theaters were magnificent palaces, designed not just for entertainment but also for admiration. Opened in 1922, the Orpheum was an atmospheric theater designed to evoke the feeling of being in an open-air Spanish garden. The walls were decorated with artificial trees, ornate lanterns, and curved columns, creating an almost dreamlike environment for moviegoers. It wasn't just a theater, it was an experience. People came to watch movies, yes, but they also came to escape reality and lose themselves in a world of beauty and illusion. But like so many other great places of its era, the Orpheum eventually succumbed to the changing times. By the 1970s, its splendor had faded and the theater was abandoned. For years, it sat silent, its once vibrant halls slowly crumbling. What makes the Orpheum unique, however, is the community's tireless passion to save it. In 1978, it was declared a historic landmark, and restoration work began. Today, the Orpheum is one of Wichita's most beloved treasures, hosting events that attract people from all walks of life. It's a perfect example of how the past can be preserved, not just for nostalgia but to breathe new life into the present. But despite all the restoration work, there's something undeniably eerie about this magnificent theater. Walking through the building today, you can still feel the weight of its history. Whispers of the past mingle with the excitement of modern performances. It's a place that captures the essence of timeless beauty and the resilience of a community determined to keep its heritage alive. Palace Theater, Canton, Ohio. The Palace Theater in Canton, Ohio, has always been more than just a place to see movies. Opened in 1926, it was a vision of opulence, designed to give moviegoers a taste of high society. Local industrialist Harry Inc. spared no expense in its construction, and the result was a theater that was both a work of art and a functional space for entertainment. With its stunning design inspired by Spanish courtyards, the Palace Theater was intended to evoke a sense of wonder from the moment you enter. The arches, tilework, and intricate details on every surface gave the space an aura of grandeur, transporting audiences far from their everyday lives. For years, it hosted vaudeville shows, Broadway shows, and of course, movies. But over the decades, the Palace suffered the same fate as many other theaters, declining attendance and an increasingly outdated space. In 1976, the theater was abandoned and fell into disrepair. But unlike many of its counterparts, the Palace Theater had something others didn't: determined locals who refused to let it fade into history. A campaign to save the theater began, and in 1980, the Palace reopened its doors to the public. Today it continues to host live performances, showcasing its rich history and the beauty of its design. Restoration efforts preserve the essence of the original space, and modern upgrades ensure the Palace remains a vibrant cultural hub for the city. Walking through its doors now, it's hard not to be struck by the splendor still present, a lasting symbol of how a community's passion can preserve something truly special. The Palace Theater may no longer be in the spotlight of the film world, but it's still a living, breathing part of Canton's cultural fabric. Rialto Cinema, Dunedin, New Zealand. The Rialto Cinema in Dunedin, New Zealand, possesses an enchanting charm that stands the test of time. Opened in 1928, it was once a majestic movie theater that drew crowds with its Moorish-inspired design, complete with soaring arches, intricate tile work, and a painted sky above it to mimic a night full of stars. Imagine entering a space where the air is filled with nostalgia and the promise of cinematic wonder. This was a place where dreams were projected onto the screen and audiences sat in awe beneath the glittering lights of the cinema's vast ceiling. Over the years, the Rialto became a local icon, embodying the golden age of cinema. But as the years passed and cinemas evolved, the future of the Rialto became uncertain. At the end of the 20th century, the cinema closed its doors, its seats empty and silent. In 1998, however, the Rialto was reborn and transformed into a 6-screen multiplex cinema, blending modern amenities with a historic ambiance. Today, the cinema continues to capture the spirit of the past while welcoming a new generation of moviegoers. The beauty of the Rialto lies not only in its architecture, but also in the seamless way it preserves its history while embracing the future. Although it has been altered to meet modern needs, there is still something undeniably haunting about its original design. As you enter the Rialto, you can still feel the echoes of a bygone era, the whispers of old films, and the rustle of long-gone audiences. It is a place where past meets present, making it a truly unique cinematic experience, haunting yet beautiful in its timelessness. Roxy Theatre, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. The Roxy Theatre in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan tells a story of resilience and beauty through the lens of history. Built during the Great Depression, it was a beacon of hope for the people of the time, providing a place of escape and entertainment amidst adversity. The theater's design, with its striking Spanish villa-style architecture, was a work of art in itself. Small balconies, intricate windows, and turrets that seemed to touch the sky made the Roxy more than just a movie theater. It was a dream come true. Its ceiling, painted to resemble the vast night sky, immersed audiences even deeper in the magic of the movies. But as the decades passed, the Roxy, like many others, faced an uncertain future. In 1989, it closed its doors, and the space fell into disrepair, its walls slowly crumbling and its once magnificent features fading. But the Roxy Theater's story didn't end there. Thanks to a determined group of locals, the Roxy was saved from demolition and restored to its former glory. Today it is used as a theater, retaining its unique design while still offering modern entertainment. Walking through the Roxy today, you can still feel the quiet strength that has withstood the test of time. The night sky above, the delicate arches, and the ornate details all remind you of the theater's incredible past. The Roxy may have changed its purpose, but its spirit remains undiminished, a testament to the power of community and the timeless beauty of its architecture. It's a place where the past lives on, reminding us that even in decay there is something beautiful and lasting. What an incredible journey through these unforgettably beautiful cinemas. Each one holds a piece of history waiting to be rediscovered. Which of these abandoned cinemas would you like to visit? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into forgotten places, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to DwellScape for more captivating explorations. Until next time, keep discovering the hidden gems of the world around us.